G'day everyone and welcome back to the channel. In this episode of Investment Review, we are taking a look at the Classic TV Series Batmobile. Let's review it. So this is the set we will be looking at today, the Classic TV Series Batmobile, set number 76188, 345 pieces, and it does have two minifigures. Here in Australia it does retail for $50, the US is $30, and in the UK it is £30 as well. So like with all the reviews, we're going to be going through the individual signs, and we're going to be starting off with the shelf life, and I'll be giving my reviews out of 1 to 10, 10 being good, 1 being bad. So let's get into it with the shelf life, which is just here on Brickset, and we can see that the set was released in April of 2021 and it is scheduled to retire at the end of the year to today's date. I don't believe that will change, but Lego can pull a Swifty and push it out again to retire for another 6 or 12 months. But at the time of recording, it's retiring at the end of this year, meaning that it would have had a run of about a year and 8 months, which is below average, which is good because we want the shelf life to be shorter, because that means there's going to be less supply. So because of that shelf life, I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10. Now let's talk about the minifigures in this set. So we're going to go over to Bricklink, and we can see that there is 2, and both of these are actually exclusive, which means that they are only to this set. So we've got the Classic TV Series Batman, which as we can see here is selling for about $12 to $13, which is pretty good, and then the Classic TV Series Joker is selling for about $10. So you're going to get about $22, $23 for these figures, which in Australia the retail is $50, so pretty much you're getting half your money, which is very, very good. They're both exclusive, they're worth about half the set, so the figures are going to be getting a 10 out of 10. Next, I just want to talk about the collectability of this set. Obviously, part of the DC, it is Batman. DC's most popular character is Batman. It is a Batmobile, which are very collectible and popular among fans as well. And it is the Classic TV series, and there hasn't really been many sets made of this. There was the Batmobile that come in the Batcave set, and there was also this one little one here, which was a Comic-Con Batmobile TV series, which was only a smaller set, only 152 pieces, but comparing this to this, you can't really compare because this is like a full-blown set. So this is kind of the one of its kind, of its only thing, so I don't believe that they will probably be doing another one of this at this size anytime soon. At least they may release kind of a bigger one in the future. I don't believe they will anyway, but the collectability is definitely there, so I'll be giving it a 9 out of 10 for collectability. Now I just want to talk about the supply of the set. So how much supply is there? Because if a set has low supply and it has high demand, that's when it will be worth more after retirement. So it is temporarily out of stock on the Lego Australia website, and it always is. It is very hard to get, which means the supply is low, which is very good. And if we go over to Bricklink and we check how much supply is on here, we can see current items for sale, 126 lots, which is, you know, a good chunk, but if you look at the average sale price of those, $80. So on average, you're going to be paying more than retail to pick it up. And if we go over to eBay, I've filtered this for Australia and condition new. You can see that there is 29 lots available, but they're all above retail. Remember, 50 is the retail in Australia, and they're all listed for 80 or more. So although there is supply on the secondary market, you're going to be paying more. That's not what we want to do. So because the supply is so low, and it is also always out of stock at the other retailers, well, like Target for example. So because the supply is so low and it is already on the secondary market for above retail, the supply is definitely getting a 10 out of 10. Next, let's touch on the demand of the set. Is there demand for it? Absolutely there is. It is always out of stock, very hard to get. And also we can have a look on Bricklink, and we can see that in the last 6 months there has been 48 sold at an average price of 56, so that's actually above retail. And if we go to eBay, we can see that there has been 26 sold, and all of these are above retail as well. So the demand is definitely there because people are willing to pay pretty much double what it's worth already, and it hasn't even retired. So we'll be giving a 10 out of 10 for the demand. Now we just touched on it, but let's talk about the value on the secondary market. We can see that this one's 100, 90, 75. That's actually plus 43 postage, which is ridiculous. 100, 130, 100, 85. So they're selling well above retail. Retail's 50 here, so some are even selling more than double, which is just dumbfounding. But anyway, if we go back to Bricklink, as we touched on as well, this is selling for above retail as well, which is rare for Bricklink, especially for sets that haven't retired, so it is a very good sign for the demand of this set and also for the value on the secondary market, even though it hasn't even retired. So for the value in the secondary market, it's getting a 10 out of 10. Now let's just touch on the affordability of this set. How I rate this is I usually go the cheaper it is, the higher the rating, the dearer it is, the lower the rating. You may think it should be switched because cheaper sets are more hoarded, but cheaper sets do better return on investment wise usually than larger sets, because if you think about it, if you spend $50 on a set, it's much easier for that set to double in value to go to 100 than it is for a set that's worth 500 to go to 1,000. It's just much easier. As you can see, like this one here, for example, is already selling for double already, and you haven't got sets like the Colosseum that are going to be selling for double as quick as this one. So that's why I rate the cheaper sets more higher than the larger ones. But anyway, $50 set, if you can get it at $50, obviously that is a below average. What I like to consider is the average price of a Lego set, which is usually about that $120, $150 mark. So it is very affordable if you can get it at that retail price though. So for the affordability at $50 is getting a 9 out of 10. Right, and now let's touch on the box size of this set. How big is the box? Obviously the bigger it is, the more space it takes to store, the more costly it's going to be to post, etc. So usually the smaller the box, the better it is, because you can store more and it is cheaper to post. So we can see it just weighs a little bit less than 500 grams, and 35 by 18.8 by 6 centimeters is the dimension. So it isn't that big. It's usually around probably about this big to about that big. So it isn't the biggest box, obviously isn't the smallest, but the box size, I'm going to be giving it an 8 out of 10. Now let's just touch on the theme DC and obviously Batman. So is it a good theme? Yes, it definitely is a good theme. It does have a lot of good sets that have done very good post-retirement. So, and it is a Batmobile as well, very collectible within its theme. So Batman, the theme itself, and DC, I'm going to be giving it a 9 out of 10. Right, and now let's just touch on the price per piece. So if we average it out, how much does one piece in this set cost? So all we have to do is, I'll bring this one over, is we do the retail price, which is 50, and divide it by how many pieces, which is 345, brings us to about 14.5 cents per piece, which is very good. So I'm going to be giving it a 9 out of 10 for price per piece. And now we're going to touch on the part out value. So if you were to break down this set individually and sell each of these pieces for what they're currently worth on Bricklink, what would you be getting? So we are going to go over to the part out guide and chuck in the set number, which is 76188. Tick the box, tick the extra parts, get the value, and we can see that the last 6 months is about 65 and the current average is around 77. So if we average that out, and we'll meet in the middle kind of at about that 70 US, and if we do convert that to Australian dollars, that actually goes 70 to 100 Australian, which is smack bang on double the retail price. So because it is double, it's going to get an average score of 5 out of 10. Now I just want to touch on the chance of a re-release. So what do I think that the chances that this set will get a re-release? I don't think they will. It is a possibility, but I don't think they will, at least at this size. It is around that 345 pieces, and as we just touched on before, they did release this little one here, which was only, I think, 152 pieces. Yep, there we go there. And there was obviously the one that was in that back cave I touched on as well. The only thing I could see them possibly doing is releasing a bigger version, like they have done with like the tumblers and stuff. That's the only other thing I could think that they may do, releasing the Classic TV Series 1. So because of that, I'm just going to be giving it a 7 out of 10. And now the last thing I want to touch on is just comparable set performance. So like the tumbler I did last month, we're just going to compare it to this one, because there isn't any Batmobiles of this size that have retired, and see how they've gone. But we can see that this one actually did retail in Australia for $50. The average price on Bricklink is actually around $63. So it has slowly grown in value, but however, this set had never had exclusive minifigures, and it wasn't as obviously iconic as the Classic TV series or the Tumbler. It was just a generic Batmobile that they made, and this one's already started to go up in value, but I do like the looks of especially the Classic TV series Batmobile as well, and it is already selling for above retail, as we touched on before, on eBay and Bricklink, so very good. So I'm going to be giving the comparable set performance an 8 out of 10, but there isn't much really to compare it to, but we just go off of what we can see in front of us, which is very good signs. So an 8 out of 10 it will be getting for that. So just to reiterate, all of the scoring that I did give was, the shelf life was an 8 out of 10, the minifigs were a 10 out of 10, the collectability was a 9 out of 10, the supply was a 10 out of 10, demand was 10 out of 10, Value on the secondary market was 10 out of 10. Affordability, 9 out of 10. The box size, an 8 out of 10. The theme itself was a 9 out of 10. The price per piece was a 9 out of 10. The part out value was a 5 out of 10. The chance of re-release was 7 out of 10. And the comparable set performance was an 8 out of 10. So after tallying all those up, it comes to an average overall score of 8.6 out of 10. So a very, very high score for this set. By far the highest one that I've done on this channel so far. So overall thoughts, should you invest in it? Obviously, I'm not a financial advisor, I'm not telling you what to do. But given everything that we have gone over in this video, we can clearly see that this is going to be a fantastic set to invest in, as long as you can pick it up for that, at least that retail price. I wouldn't be paying any more than that 50, or in the US and UK the 30. So try and pick it up at that price if possible, and I do believe that this set is going to be very, very good investment. And if you buy it now for retail, you're already probably going to get double your money anyway. So especially come retirement, this is an easy 12-month hold for probably triple your money. So get as many as you can for that retail price at the most, and fingers crossed that this set does do gangbusters, which from the evidence that is shown that we've gone over in this video is very, very realistic. But anyway, if you did enjoy this video, please smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, let me know your thoughts down below if you will be investing in this set, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.